guys, this is Fei Wu from Feisworld Media, and I am so exhausted right now. But something important happened today because the Congress just passed the 2 trillion coronavirus stimulus bill. It's a big day today for you and me and a lot of people living in America. What I'm gonna do in this video is to break down how that actually impacts us. Look, I need to preface this by saying I'm not a politician, lobbyist, I am not an attorney, and I'm not an expert in this field. However, I did find all these articles and I'm doing my best as a normal citizen human being to break down and to understand why this is important to us and what we should do in addition to waiting to receive the check, the benefits, in a month or maybe even in 2 months. All right, let's break down some of the articles here. Number 1 from CNN Politics. What's in a 2 trillion coronavirus stimulus bill? So I actually like this article. It's helpful because it talks about number 1, direct payments to individuals. Specifically, as a single American, you would receive $1,200. If you're married, couples would get $2,400. And parents would see an additional $500 for each child under the age of 17. There is a but, which is payment would start to phase out for individuals with adjusted gross income of more than $75,000. And those making more than $99,000 will not qualify. Student loan payments suspended. This is a huge deal for a lot of people across different ages, which is that if you are unable to pay your student loans, there will be no penalty through September 30th, according to this bill. Let's take a look at Real ID deadline delayed. So I was a little confused by this. I never heard of Real ID. As of February 2020, most Americans will need a new ID to fly, starting in October this year. So with this new bill, what it's trying to say is they're going to extend this requirement out until at least September 2021, a year past the current deadline. Next is historic boost for unemployment benefits. In an unprecedented expansion of unemployment insurance, the government would give jobless workers an extra $600 a week for 4 months on top of their state benefits, which could range from $200 to $550 a week. That's very good news for a lot of people. Next, 500 billion lending programs. So in general, what they're saying is this includes $25 billion for passenger air carriers, $4 billion for cargo, $17 billion for businesses that work in national security. Or specifically, I thought airlines and airports will get what they wanted. This package includes $32 billion in grants for wages and benefits to the disseminated airline industry. I do feel bad for them. Next, contractors and gig workers like us. I mean, like us, if you're a creative entrepreneur, if you work from home most of the time. Now, check it out. Independent contractors and so-called gig workers will be eligible to receive federal aid. This language could provide additional certainty to millions of part-time workers who drive for Uber, deliver for Amazon, in what has become a major part of the digital economy. What does that mean exactly? So, here's some additional information I found on New York Times. Are gig workers, freelancers, and independent contractors covered in this bill? The answer is yes. Woohoo! Yes, self-employed people would be newly eligible for unemployment benefits. This is really cool because for years, for as long as I've been in the US, which is 20 years, I have never seen or heard of this benefit before because regularly you would not benefit, you would not be eligible for unemployment. Now, the question is, how is unemployment calculated for freelancers? It's quite different than a more straightforward W-9 full-time worker. So New York Times listed this article, but it's going to take a while to break down. It's from Cornell Law School. We need to dig a little bit deeper and understand who's writing the check and where we're going to get paid as freelancers. Now, another article I found, which is through Market Watch, is very promising because I definitely was very interested in learning whether this bill only applies to US citizens. So check it out. Those receiving Social Security benefits will be eligible. According to analysis of the bill from Senator Charles Grassley, a Republican from Iowa, green card holders, in addition to citizens, qualify for the check. Thumbs up. Now, I want to take a closer look at this New York Times article because I like the FAQ format of what any of this means or what some of the frequently asked questions are currently. One thing to keep in mind is the bill literally just got passed. So what I noticed after Googling is that there aren't a ton of links, resources, FAQs answering questions, understandably speaking. So I would encourage myself as well as you for your unique situations to check and to kind of check in on a weekly basis and to understand how you can uniquely qualify and benefit from this bill. Let's check out some of the FAQs. How many payments will there be with this bill? Just one. Future bills could order up additional payments. How do I know if I get the full amount? Well, it depends on your income. Single adults with Social Security numbers who are U.S. residents have an adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less would get the full amount. And someone filing as head of household would get the full payment if they earn $112,500 or less. What if my recent income made me ineligible, but I anticipate being eligible because of a loss of income in 2020? Do I still get the payment? The bill does not appear to help people in that circumstance. However, there are many other provisions in the legislation that you may be able to file for unemployment or for one of the new loans for small businesses. Would I have to apply to receive a payment? The answer is no. When will they arrive? About 3 weeks from today. If my payment doesn't come soon, how can I be sure that it wasn't misdirected? According to the bill, you would get a paper notice in the mail no later than a few weeks after your payment has been dispersed. What if I haven't filed tax returns recently? Would that affect my ability to receive the payment? It could. File a return immediately, at least for 2018. Would most people who are receiving Social Security, retirement, and disability payments each month also get a stimulus payment? The answer is yes. Would eligible unemployed people get these stimulus payments? Veterans? Yes and yes. If my income tax refunds are currently being garnished because of a student loan default, would this payment be garnished as well? The answer is no. Now, let's move on to unemployment benefits. Who would be covered by the expanded program? The new bill would wrap up in far more workers than are usually eligible for unemployment benefits, including self-employed people and part-time workers. The bottom line is those who are unemployed, partially unemployed, who cannot work for a wide variety of coronavirus-related reasons would be more likely to receive benefits. Now the question is, what is counted or included in the coronavirus-related events? It is hard to define, and I haven't really seen a definitive answer to this. For example, several of my clients are unable to continue working with me as a result of coronavirus because they're speakers and need to travel. I am ultimately impacted by that. So does that count? How much would I receive? It depends on your state. Benefit would be expanded in a bit to replace the average worker's paycheck. Are gig workers, freelancers, and independent contractors covered in the bill? Yes, self-employed people would be newly eligible for unemployment benefits. As we talked about, benefit amount will be calculated based on a previous income using a formula from this Disaster Unemployment Assistance Program. Self-employed workers would also be eligible for the additional $600 weekly benefit provided by the federal government. What if I've been diagnosed with COVID-19 or I need to care for a family member who has? If you have been diagnosed or are experiencing symptoms or are seeking diagnosis and you're unemployed, partially unemployed, or cannot work as a result, you would be covered. The same goes if you must care for a member of your family or if the household has received a diagnosis. What if my child's school or daycare shut down? If you rely on the school, daycare, or another facility to care for a child, elderly parent, or another household member so that you can work, and that facility has been shut down because of the coronavirus, you'd be eligible. Who would the bill leave out? Workers who are able to work from home and those receiving paid sick leave or paid family leave would not be covered. All right, the list goes on, but you get the point. I hope you will consider reading these articles, which I've included in the description below. And in the upcoming videos, what I want to cover are things that we can consider doing now. In addition to the stimulus bill, which is great. I also want to talk about sites and resources you can take advantage of, because many of us did not think about this before. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you're well and safe with your family. Taking care of them and your friends are extremely important. The last thing I will say is take advantage of this moment and get back in touch with people. Say hi, offer to help. If you like what I've shared, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Better yet, hit the notification bell so that I know when and how to deliver the next piece of useful content right to your inbox. I'll see you in the next video.